Hey everybody, welcome back to HNS Collectibles. This is Cody. So this is one I've been talking about for a little while. I've been wanting to get it together, just haven't. Finally did tonight, and it is my Star Trek collection. So my Star Trek collection basically breaks down into, I think, four sections. You've got the original series, then the original cast movies, and then the next generation, and then finally the reboots. I don't have anything from, Deep Space Nine or Voyager or Enterprise or any of the other parts of the franchise, just these kind of four sections, if you will. So we're going to jump right into the original series, and I'll try to keep this moving because there's a lot to show, and I don't want this to end up being an hour-long video. So I'm just going to kind of be quickly showing things and getting them off the shelf. I will say the item that I'm saving for last, my favorite thing in the collection, is original series, but I'm saving it for last. So start off with some of the knick-knacky kind of stuff. This is a set of coasters. Live Long and Prosper, Beam Me Up, Scotty, Vulcans Never Bluff, Star Trek. This was a gift from my parents. They found it somewhere, I think maybe Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Don't remember. This is Star Trek the card game. I've never opened this. I found it at a toy show for really next to nothing. 65 collectible playing cards, it says, contains rule book. The box, kind of looks like a little tricorder. And I also bought 2 expansion pack or booster packs, but I've never opened them. So sometime I might open that, play it. This is a set of Star Trek playing cards in a tin box. Also found these at the same toy show, and I'll get it out and show you the box here. It's one of those things, it's a little depressing. A couple of kids, well, when I say kids, they were damn near my age. Their fathers, they were cousins, and their fathers had passed away, and their fathers were both big collectibles of horror and sci-fi stuff. So I got a lot of things at a really good deal. Because 2 guys passed away. Kind of sad, but nice to see, collections go on and continue living. But two decks of cards still in the cellophane in this, kind of collectible tin. So there's the kind of the opening at the beginning. These are the voyages, 5-year mission, boldly go, space, the final frontier. I guess I said that backwards. So that's that. A USS Enterprise bottle opener. So I actually had 2 of these. I gave one to a friend recently as a retirement gift. But at the same toy show, I was able to pick up 2. And they are pretty cool looking. It's pretty much flat. There's not a lot of height to it. You can see how thick the box is. A set of Star Trek playing cards. Again, this was a gift from my folks. I have used them, but mostly they sit on the shelf. Now we get into some micro machines. So this was a 3-pack of micro machines. First we got a Romulan ship, and then we had, this is from the original series too. Came off the stand. A Klingon ship. And finally, the Enterprise itself. So, actually got these up at Sewer Lair Toy, $5 for the pack. I have a pack of them that are movie ships. This was the original series ship set. Next up, I might as well go into these. All 3 seasons of the original series on Blu-ray. If you are a Trek fan and have not made the Blu-ray update, I would do so. They look fantastic. They look just incredible. Picture quality. is so much better. And these include both versions of the show. So you can watch the show with the original visual effects, or I think it might have been the Sci-Fi Network at the time. Went and revamped all the old episodes with new visual effects, CGI effects. Kind of cool to see. I still watch them in the old format. And down the road, something I want to show later this year when I get a hold of them. They're actually at my father's house in his basement. We have not been going over there due to COVID. He has the entire collection on VHS. So I'll get that later and show that at some point. This is a Playmates toy of Tyrell, the Squire of Gothos. And there he is. His stand has a Enterprise logo, and each of these little Playmate figures came with some kind of accessory. There's his mirror that was the computer that Kirk shot when they had the duel. Next up, going through, this is a Trivial Pursuit edition, 50th anniversary edition for Star Trek. And it's the Galileo Shuttlecraft. I have opened these before. The top of the shuttlecraft lifts open and the cards are in there. No game board, nothing like that. It's just really, as you can see here, the card and, some dice that has some different, things from the show on it. 1,200 questions for Star Trek fans. Spanning, the first 10 Star Trek movies, so it doesn't include the reboots, and 5 of the television series. So this is a fun game. I like to play it when I can have people around me who are also into it. Next up from that, a Mini-Mate. I don't know if this is what kind of became Vinamates later, but Kirk with the Tribbles. Got this at a toy show. I thought it was cute for just $5. Looks like they had several of them. You could get Kirk from Mirror Mirror, the rest of the crew, a Klingon, and then Kirk with the Tribbles. Said that this was a Figures.com exclusive, so I'm kind of glad that I found this one. Pretty cool. Next up, some books. So Star Trek 1 by James Blish. This is just more continuing adventures of the original crew. Got that at a yard sale somewhere. I wanted to show this especially. This is one of the books I think that helped start me on my obsession. So this was like a book fair purchase when I was a kid. Book fair, weekly reader, one of those kind of things. I watched Star Trek growing up with my dad, and they had this book, and then I went ahead and threw this one in here, Science Fiction's Greatest Monsters. So this is the book where I learned more about, the Harryhausen movies. Like there's, It Came From Beneath the Sea. There's The Time Machine, This Island Earth, and it's by the same author, Daniel Cohen. Both of these were books I picked up, like at the book fair or through Weekly Reader when I was a kid. A Star Trek Topps trading card book. This is pretty cool. I never did have any of the, there's the Doomsday Machine, my favorite. I never had any of the Topps cards, but this book shows you all of them. I also have one of these books for the Garbage Pail Kids series. A Captain Kirk sitting in his chair Christmas ornament. I showed this recently on the Christmas ornament video, but this is from 1995. Found it at a flea market, along with some stuff that will be in the movie collection. Next up, another Playmate toy, the Gorn, and he comes with the little translator, communicator that him and Kirk had, and then, a sharp rock, his weapon. Next up, a McFarlane Toys Captain Kirk. I think it's a pretty decent likeness of him. I've seen some other Kirk figures that were not such a good likeness, but he's got a communicator, a phaser, and then from, I think maybe Where No Man's Gone Before, the phaser rifle, which you didn't see very often in the show, and an extra hand to hold it. Yeah, that's all the accessories that he came with. Next up, oh, yeah, I wondered when all this would come crashing down on me. Yep, there it goes. Yeah. See if we can control the fall. Yeah. So a set of Star Trek glasses. A friend of mine who also loves Star Trek got me this glass set for a birthday one year. And you can kind of read them. There's Scotty. His glass says, "I'm giving it all she's got, Captain." Kirk says, "You would find me a formidable enemy." Spock says, "Seems logical to me, Captain." And McCoy says, "I'm a doctor, not an engineer." Always kept them in the box, never used them. I'm kind of worried that the print would fade off if I did try to use those. So now we'll get to the records before they fall. Leonard Nimoy presents Mr. Spock's Music from Space. So this was another flea market find, falling apart. Someone duct taped it, and the theme from Star Trek, Twinkle Twinkle Little Earth, Beyond Antares, the theme from Mission Impossible. Just some kind of weird stuff on here, if you will, but kind of neat to have. This is a really cool one that I found down at Atmosphere Collectibles, record store I like going to. And this album is called Inside Star Trek. It's from 1976 and has material from 74 and 76, but it's Gene Roddenberry talking about Star Trek. I think they even discussed the lyrics for the Star Trek theme, and then he interviews William Shatner and also DeForest Kelley. So really neat. This is out on YouTube. If you look up Inside Star Trek, you can hear what's on it. Let's see. Some original soundtrack from the series, The Cage and Where No Man's Gone Before. This is... let's see, from 1985, the copy that I have. This has been reissued recently. I saw it in FYE, and you got it in a random color. I think red, white, or blue. Mine's just a standard black vinyl. And then this record I will actually go ahead and pull out to show. But this is a La La Land's record exclusive. There was 1,701 made, because that's the call number of the Enterprise, and it is a die cut single. Side A is the main title from season 3, and then side B is the main title from season 1. So there's only about less than 2 minutes of music on this, but the fact it was die cut, like the Star Trek emblem, was just something I needed in the collection. Next up, and moving right along, a Funko Super 7 reaction figure of the Gorn. Picked him up, I think, at a toy show. Can't remember. Had him for several years now. But in this series, you could get Kirk, Scotty, Vina, or the Gorn. He's just cute. He also comes with that little sharpened rock you can see there, but no communicator device. And next up, this is, let's see, this is Johnny Lightning, just USS Enterprise, kind of standard little model on a stand. dusty. Getting a lot of these things out, I had dust and I missed that one. This is a Hallmark ornament that I don't think I showed this in my Christmas ornament video because I don't really think of it as an ornament. You can hang the Enterprise. You can see the ring on the back of the dish there. But when you press the button on this one, it stays on this stand. There's batteries in the stand. The ship snaps on to a couple of contacts and it lights up and plays the theme to the show. And this is another instance where I picked up an item because someone passed away and their wife was selling off the collection. Again, always kind of makes me feel bad, but then I'm happy that, someone else's collection is going on through another. So, next up, a couple of Geeky Tikis. These are original series, so a Klingon from the original series back before they got, too much of a forehead and started looking like Worf. Captain Kirk as a Tiki, kind of funny. He's got a phaser and a communicator. The Klingon, I don't think, has anything in his hands. Let's see, another Hallmark ornament. This one from 2008. I showed this in the Christmas ornament video, but I love it. Plays sounds from the Tribbles episode, and the Tribbles fall on Kirk. And it yeah, it plays 2 or 3 different audio clips from the show. Reach for it. There's a Pez collection of the original series. I think this also came out somewhere around the 50th anniversary. I've never really looked. I don't see a date, and I won't make you wait on it. Oh, here we go. 2008. So this is more like 40th anniversary. But it says limited edition of 250,000. That doesn't seem too limited to me, but I was happy to find it for just $10 at a thrift store. I thought it was worth that to me. Maybe not the greatest likeness on some of them, like especially Kirk or Sulu, or really Uhura. McCoy is probably the closest one, and Spock. That's not even Sulu. That's supposed to be Chekhov. I'm sorry. Sulu doesn't look that great either. But still, I thought it was cool. And, of course, it's Trek, so I'll buy it. And then the last 2 things in the original series collection are my fun edibles. So these are from USAopoly. And they're just kind of cutesy little things. Different characters as cupcakes. So this is Captain Kirk, and he's got a phaser. I don't know if you can see it back in there. Sorry for the glare. But phaser on Captain Kirk. And then the Gorn is the Gorn bread muffin. And found these, I think, at FYE. Closeout sale, $3 a piece. I think they still had Spock. The Spock one, I thought, was not very good looking, not worth having, and it was not on sale. It was full price. So let me clean this stuff up, and we will look at the movies and the things I have related to the movies next. And we're back with the movie collection. So whenever I try to do one of these all-inclusive videos, I always end up missing a few things. Also from the original series, the Galileo Shuttlecraft in a Christmas ornament. So the older kind of Christmas ornament that plugs into the old incandescent kind of light strips. Can't use this anymore because we have the LED ones now. But very cool. Keep it hanging in front of the TV. actually with this ornament that I'll show here in a minute. And then the last piece that I had off camera because it was so big I just couldn't fit it on the shelf with everything else. This is the Captain Kirk versus Khan kind of diorama from Space Seed. So you see you can pose them as if they're fighting and engineering. There also was another one of Spock and the Horta, which I don't have and haven't run across yet. Kirk comes with 2 different sets of legs. You can see that other set of legs down in there. Really, I've just never got around to opening it because my Star Trek collection already takes up 2 whole shelves in the living room. Maybe someday I'll open it whenever I move things around. So my other Christmas ornament is the 1701A Enterprise. This does light up, but I have no batteries in it at the moment. It takes some watch batteries that I don't have. But pretty cool. Keep it hanging on one side of the TV and the Galileo ornament on the other. USS Reliant, Micro Machines Star Trek movie collection set. So a little USS Reliant, a little Excelsior, NCC 2000, and then a little Bird of Prey Micro Machine. Decent little bit of detail on that one, I think, in particular for a Micro Machine. Again, got that with the other Micro Machine set, just $5. And this, which I didn't have laying out there, but this is also the USS Excelsior. This is metal. I don't know who it's from. Ertl. This is from Ertl. I remember vividly buying this at the grocery store as a kid, and my mom found it somewhere in the basement and said, "Do you still want this?" And so, yeah, I mean, it's beat all to hell, but it's from when Star Trek 3 came out. I can remember buying that, but never getting the other Enterprise. So another Johnny Lightning, the Reliant from Johnny Lightning. This is a cool little figure. Got a nice little stand with it. I like the little metal stands. This set goes together. This is a Hot Wheels die-cast set of the Enterprise and the Reliant. It's got a nice size to it. They came with really cool stands, which you can see has the emblem there. Problem is these balls that go up inside the ship to mount it on, after a while, they're very tight, and if you move or pose the ship too much, they snap off, which I found out. And a friend of mine, actually the same friend I gave that bottle opener to, he 3D printed me a new stand, a replacement stand. I showed him the old one, gave him the toy so he could, measure the inner dimensions, and yeah, printed me a new little stand. So thank you for that. That's cool. It's keeping the ship off the shelf. Back on the other shelf there, he also 3D printed me a new sword for the Monty Python's Black Knight. So get those out of the way. Then the movies themselves. So this is the set that I have, 6-disc Blu-ray set. Somewhere along the way, I don't know what the hell happened, I lost part 2, but not the cover. I just lost the disc. So I actually ended up buying a copy of the director's cut of part 2 and put in this set. I think there's a whole 10 movie set available now, but these Blu-rays look great too. And then another ship, I'm pretty sure, I'd have to go look it up. I believe this is an Eagle Moss ship, again, 1701A. Nice looking little ship. Got this at a comic book store in Kentucky. Let's see, put that to the side. Another little Playmates figure of Khan. And I thought this was cool. He came with the Genesis device computer. It's got 992 on the countdown. And the Genesis torpedo. And while we're talking con, I almost forgot to put these out there. Star Trek II bobbleheads. I'm sure there's a complete set out there. I don't have them. I've got these three. These were gifts from my father-in-law. So much thanks to him for that. Pretty cool. Someday maybe I'd like to hunt down the others. I haven't checked eBay or nothing like that, hadn't put that much thought into it, but maybe someday I will. Or maybe luck into them at a flea market or something. So speaking of flea market, glasses, I have 3 of these Star Trek 3 glasses. There was 4 in the series. I forget what the 4th one was. These were from Taco Bell in 1984 when the movie came out. I found these at different flea markets. I think I actually found the Spock at one and the other 2 at a different flea market. The Enterprise Destroyed was one, and the crew looking at it. And then the last one that I have is Lord Krug. And when he was hanging off the side of the gully. I said I think there's 4 in the set. I forget what the fourth glass was. It might have been Stealing the Enterprise, but don't quote me on that. And then some records. Star Trek the Motion Picture. This is an original one that I found at a garage sale in very good shape. Plays perfectly. Let's see, Star Trek II I found at a vintage store that also sells records. Records and old clothing, basically. Star Trek III that I found at Atmosphere Collectibles as well. And this is a good one as well. Kind of interesting. It's 2 albums, but the second side of the second album is blank. So I guess they had just enough to fill 1.5 records. And then Star Trek IV. This music in this one is kind of a big departure from the first 3. But, found it. It was cheap. Got to have it in the collection. I'd like to find the others at some point, if they even put them on vinyl. I imagine they did, but I've never looked. So next up will be the Next Generation. Okay, so on the Next Generation, I don't have near as many items as you can see, but I think that figure helps make up for that. So a couple Playmate figures up front. Scotty from when he was on the Next Generation, helping Geordi. Geordi. So found those super cheap at a toy store somewhere. Seasons 1 through 7 on Blu-ray. These are great sets. Again, another gift from my father-in-law when he was cleaning out his Blu-ray collection. Someday I will binge all 7 seasons. And then the Next Generation motion picture collection. So all 4 from Generations through Nemesis. Great movies. Do like the movies. I tend, with the Next Generation, I do tend towards the movies more so than the series. But the series is good too. And I never have watched them all, but I need to sometime. And then this was a great deal. So this was Jean-Luc Picard figure from, I think it's Quantum Mechanics Master Series. This I bought at a Think Geek store on a super crazy clearance. He's normally about $180 figure, and they had him at 25% off, and then I'd seen him at 25% off, and then I walked in one day and he was half off that, so he ended up being just shy of $70. And he comes with tricorder, phaser holster, tricorder holster. Up in the corner there, a cup of tea, several different hands, a stand, and his uniform is really cool, really well done. And really, so I've got a separate video on this where you can see it outside the package, but just a great, really good likeness of Patrick Stewart. Someday I hope to, get some of the original crew figures they did in this scale from Quantum Mechanics, but I guess they're out of production. They're kind of crazy expensive now. And then the last thing, this was the same friend who got me the glasses, got me on this. It's a CD set, but Spock versus Q. If you like Star Trek, Next Gen, original series, definitely look this up and get this. This is great. It is very funny. There's 2 different CDs in here. Spock vs. Q and Spock vs. Q the sequel, and basically they trade barbs and have a contest to see if Spock can talk Q into helping save the world. And it's a lot of fun, a lot of references to the series, and a lot of kind of in-jokes for fans. So that's it for the Next Gen. Now we'll go on to the reboots. Okay, and we're almost to the end now. So the reboots, of course, got the 3 movies. Steelbook for part 1, Steelbook for part 2, and just a Blu-ray for part 3. I've also got a Blu-ray for parts 1 and 2, but they're buried away in the back of the entertainment center. I think part 1 was a 3-disc, part 2 was more or less the same cover art as this, with like a transparent slip cover. Kind of cool. This is one of the first items I think I bought from the Reboot series. It's another Eagle Moss of the new Enterprise. It's big, it's heavy. The dish is metal, but the body of the ship is plastic. But very nice, very nice little model. And Hot Wheels Enterprise got that same kind of stand as those big Hot Wheels, which I think is kind of cool. That they keep that consistency between them. A Hot Wheels diecast of the USS Vengeance from part 2 with the same kind of stand. This came in a gift pack with the Star Trek II Steelbook. Let's see. These are 3 ships from part 3. So you've got the ship, one of the ships, that Idris Elba's people flew, a small Enterprise. Hope I don't drop it. And then I forget the name of the ship, the one that they got running on the planet to get away. I forget the name of it. It's not printed on the ship. But that came in a gift set with part 3 on Blu-ray. A couple of Quinto and Pine mini Funko Pops. And then Pine and Quinto regular size Pops. Oops. And then a Zachary Quinto Spock figure. My wife got this for me a few years ago, about the time that the reboot came out. A little kind of play set that she also got me. Each figure, I think, came with a piece of the bridge. And I only have the 2. I've got Kirk, he's still in the package, and then I've got Scotty, which I opened at some point, and I'm not too sure where his piece of the bridge went. But that doesn't really matter because I don't think I'll ever have the other ones. So that's it for the reboots. Let me get out the last item and set it up and show it to you. And real quick, so I told you I kept forgetting everything. The Star Trek reboot soundtrack on vinyl. This was a record store day deal. First ever LP release, it says. Standard black, not a color or anything, but a really good soundtrack. So I had to throw that in there and make sure I didn't forget anything. Okay, and for the final item, and like I said, I'm always forgetting something. When I went to get this off the shelf, I found these. These are Star Trek coasters from a loot crate having to do with the new movie. My buddy Q the Horror Fan sent me these. Knows what a Star Trek nut I am. But the big things is we actually got to meet William Shatner. Me and my daughter, one of my daughters, got to meet him in the summer of 2019 at the Days of the Dead convention in Indianapolis. And really cool guy. Of course, the photo op is brief. But got to talk to him in the autograph line, and then also when he did his Q&A session, I got to ask a question. And that was kind of neat to ask him a question. I asked him basically what his favorite character he ever played was. You know, having played, from Twilight Zone to Star Trek, T.J. Hooker, Boston Legal, all the things we've seen William Shatner do over the years. What was his favorite role? And he said basically all of them. He said each time he played one of the roles, he put himself into it. Then as Kirk, he was like a fresh out, theater trained actor overdoing it. By the time he got to Boston Legal, he was older and set in his ways and played the character that way. So he said trying to decide his favorite character is like trying to decide his favorite version of himself. And I thought that was just kind of a neat answer. I had never really heard an actor give before. So my favorite thing in the collection is this little scale Captain Kirk chair. This is from Quantum Mechanics, Came and Talk. 1/6 scale Captain Kirk chair. This fits the scale of figures of the Picard I showed you earlier, and it's got kind of like a pleather seat to it. It does make sounds and light up on the control panel. Kind of scanning, hailing, and red alert. And this is what I had him sign when I met him. So to Cody, William Shatner, like I said, really cool guy. Really happy that I got to meet him. With Star Trek and watching it with my dad and just kind of the way that my family regards Star Trek, meeting him was really cool because he's really such a big part of my life. And Star Trek too. And just, I think kind of some of the ways I look at things come from the lessons that can be learned from Star Trek. So that's my whole collection. I hope you liked it. Like and subscribe if you haven't. I hope it didn't drone on too long. Later on, like I said, I want to show that VHS collection when I get it. There's 78 tapes in it, so that might take a while too. But anyway, that's it. I'll talk to you all later. Stay safe, take care of each other, and come back and see me. Thanks.